So the question is, why we need more than one? Because one should be enough to pluralize. Following? That's the question we're going to ask. And then we see how translation of Quran is not able to do the justice because English is unable. Following, not following, let me know. Because the whole topic is about that, how things are getting lost in the translation. Junaid is following. We have very silent class today, fascinating. 38 people present, and most of them are silent, unless people are struggling to use the chat, I don't know. Following. Right. Well, Nadia. Okay, Nadia, please read the email with your access link. No, not always. Some words have only sound. Some words has only broken, like in English. And some words have more than one. And we are interested in things which are more than one. I'll send to Nadia once again. So she would see my comment. Hopefully she will figure it out that she needs to read the email. So what we want to do now, we want to see how things get lost in translation of Quran, because English doesn't have adequate means to express it, right? Before we do that, I'm going to give you simple examples. Well, how do you recognize broken plural when it is not ending with una or ina? See? So, for example, how do you recognize broken plural in English? It does not end with s. So, for example, when I say children, you see it's broken. It's not the same as childs. When I say feet, you understand it's a broken plural, because if it would be food plus s, foods, then you'd know it's broken. Before that, let me give you an example. Simple. Before going to Quran is it's a very high Arabic. That's a pinnacle. There is no more eloquent speech which has so many layers. You can read it again and again and again, and you will always find something new. Each of us. We will never say now we know all the meanings of Quran, because that's a speech of Allah. Right? So before we get there, let's start with basic ideas. Katib. Arabic word katib, simple meaning is the one who writes. So that means can be translated to English as writer, can also mean author. In an ancient context, or traditional, old, some Middle Ages time, it can mean scribe. And in the modern context, it can mean clerk. Yeah. Now, here I will be translating as writer. So we have the word katib. Now, we can pluralize the word katib, but we can pluralize it more than one way. We can say katibuna, that would be sound way of pluralizing, right? Because that's una at the end. And we can say kutab. And kutab is the broken plural, because not katib plus una, it is changing the whole word, right? So we have same word having more than one way of being pluralized. Now, guess what? They don't mean exactly the same thing. Well, in English, we will translate both of them as writers. But katibuna and kutab, yes, they talk about those who write, but they focus on different things, because when you say katibuna, you focus on action. Like action of writing is what makes us saying katib, writer. And when you say kutab, it is not about what he or she or they do. It's about who they are. What do I mean by this? Now look at this picture. This is a photo. I don't know, Muhammad Abdurrahman. First, Muhammad Abdurrahman, I don't know what are you saying, honestly, because First you were on point, you say Jama Mudhakar Salim, Jama Taksir, and now it is Katib, Katibuna al-Katibina. Okay. Oh, all right. So you're giving Katib, Katibuna, Katibina. Right. But focus on the what I have to say. Forget about Katibina for a second. Right. It's not just a class on Nahu, on this and that. We're trying to make a point here. So follow I have to say. And then at the end, if you have questions, ask. Maybe we can learn something new. Who knows? Okay. So what I was saying, you have Katib. That's one. Katibuna kutab many, except that in English we miss the difference because we say writers. And in Arabic, it's a two different things, katibuna and kutab. When you say katibuna, you say writers with focusing on action. You say kutab, you say also writers with focusing on who they are, not what they do. Now look at this picture. This is the picture of Russian writers in the beginning of 20th century. Great minds here. Gorky and others. So now we look at them, and I can say this is a katib in Arabic. This is a katib. And this is a katib. And this is a katib, and all of that. But all of them, they are, or these are kutab, not katibuna. Why? Why, if we talk about can't see photo, switch to slides. Everything is working. I can guarantee you on my side. So why in Arabic, when we talk about them, we have to say they are kutab and not katibun. Because if you say they are katibun, you're gonna be incorrect. But if you say they are kutab, they are right. Why? Sorry. Exactly, Tabo. Because they are not writing now. Because if you would see them with their hair, with the pens in their hands writing, they would be katibun. Katibuna, right? But it's not about what they do, it's about who they are. But if you look at those kids, I can say she is a katib. Okay, I'm supposed to say she's a katiba, feminine, but let's just make things easy for us. Katib, katib, katib. All of them, they are katibuna. But I cannot say they are kutab. Why? Why I have to say they are katibuna and not kutab? Why those little kids? Because they're writing. Because it's not about them being accomplished writers who publish their work. Exactly. They are engaged in the action of writing. It's not about who they are, it's about what they do. We don't know about them as writers who published works, novels, being famous, whatever. We see it's about their actions, not about who they are. Another example. Amil. The word amal, well, in Arabic it can mean many things, but we can just say work. So amil is the one who works, the one who does work. In different contexts, it can mean worker, agent, operator, labor, and so on. In English, right? Here we will just be translating it in English as worker. Once again, we have, when it comes to plural, two ways of pluralizing. We have amiluna, with una, that means standard plural, sound plural, like with s in English. And then we have ummal, that means broken plural. Once again, when it comes to sound plural, we're focusing on action, what they do. And when it's broken plural, ummal, we focus on who they are. You can say focus on essence, status, being, not doing. So from this, look at this picture. I can say this guy is Amil, and she's Amil, and he's Amil. But all of them, they are ummal, but not Amiluna. Can you see why? Can you see why in Arabic we have to say they are ummal using broken plural instead of amiluna sound? Can you see why? Can you? Can you not? Why? Yes, because here it's about who they are, not what they do. They looks like they're having a coffee break or lunch break or whatever. So it's not about what they, it's about who they are. We just see that they are workers, not in terms of, not by the virtue of their action, but by the virtue of being who they are. But right now they are not working. Okay. Look at those kids in school. They're busy working on some project. So you can say they each of them is Amil, right? Right. But all of them, we can say they are Amiluna, but they are not Umal. Can you see why? And if you understood, that means that you understood what I'm trying to say. Congratulations. You know more than 99% of people around you. Can you see why? No, without exaggeration, because no, it's true. People do go to madrasa, Darul Uloom, different learning institutions. People learn about plural, standard plural, broken plural. But for example, ask them, what's the difference? People can't say. Most of the people can't say. And I think that's why people don't understand those fine things. People get bored very fast when they learn Arabic grammar because they feel like I'm learning a rule and I'm learning another rule and I'm learning another rule. But all thing I can learn, I'm just learning to translate from Arabic to English because you learn that when you say Umal and Ramilun, that means workers. But it's not the same because when you say workers for both, we miss the difference. So we don't understand then where is Amilun and where is Umal, because here it's not about who they are. They're kids. They're not employed. They child work is is outlawed, right? They are working in sense of they are busy. Yeah, they are doing something, like they say child play is a child's work. It's their work which they do in the whatever kindergarten, primary school, whatever. This is what's it all about. And that's how, look, I believe that when it comes to learning Arabic, you have to enjoy the process. Some people believe that, okay, I need to struggle for that amount of years, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 and more years, and then one day, after all the years of struggle, suddenly I will finish. I will, I don't know, pass the exam and everything, and now I open Quran, now suddenly I understand, and now I reach eternal bliss, like I'm already in this dunya, but I feel like I'm in Jannah. It doesn't work like that. Basically, most of the people, first of all, they don't complete because obviously it's too hard and it's boring and it feels like what am I doing? I'm learning more and more, but I don't see understanding more and more in a meaningful way. Not just what's the point of, for all of us, learning to translate is not a big deal. You can have translation of Quran on your smartphone, right? Okay, so that was explaining the concept. So we understand that first of all we have sound plural, then we have broken plural. Then we know that the same word can have more than one way of pluralizing. A standard will be always one because it's only one ending. We add una, sometimes una changes to ina, but it's essentially the same thing. And then we have broken, and it can be more than one broken, like we say with kafiruna, one standard, and kufar, kafara, something else. Okay, so now what we need to do, we need to take this and see how much we miss. Things are lost in translation. When we read translation of Quran, and English language doesn't communicate those difference. How things are lost in translation, and I took exactly this believer and disbelievers. But before we do that, let me have a quick ad break. You know, on Voice of the Cape Radio in Cape Town, they say, let us break to pay the bills. That's how they like to say it. Okay, I'm not going to say, let us break the bills. Have you ever thought about learning Arabic? Try Al Khibra Academy. Al Khibra Academy is here for you. No, I'm not going to do that